Shalom. First and foremost, we give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of the great millstone. Peace and salutation to the Agiam, to the elect that are scattered across the four corners of this earth, puts in his truth on in faith and in sincerity. I'm the brother Shema Olive from the GMS Sister Camp, and this is going to be a quick Hebrew lesson on how to identify the Hebrew characters along with their pronunciations, right? Because this is a part two to the lesson that I did, I believe it was like a week ago, last Sunday. Basically just how to remember the pronunciations and the memorization of the alphabets, just like remember ABCs, things of that nature. All right, but this is going to be matching those letters, all right, and pronunciations, with their characters. All right, as you see, it says learning the Lashon Kodash alphabets part two. All right, and the Lashon Kodash is the holy tongue. Lashon is language, or tongue, and the Kodash is holy. All right, you can also say pure. All right, then you have the word up here, Ibar Yath, which is the Hebrew. That's how you say Hebrew in the Hebrew, right? Ibar Yath. All right. Um, Yeah, it's an introduction. Today we will learn how to identify the Hebrew characters along with the pronunciations and also how to write them. Uh, because as you can see, I got the Lashon Kodash alphabets written here. And we will go over how to write them. I will write them one by one so you can get an idea on how to do it, which is really simple because you can look at the Hebrew chart, right, and learn how to write it. But just for the sake of the lesson, I'm still gonna go over, how to write it in a tip. And one tip that I use to remember, right, the pronunciations along with the characters. Like when I see the character I know, hey, that's an right? I will go over one great tip that I use, all right, to do that. All right. So when you see the paleo or the Lashon Kodash, you may see them written in different ways. Right. And you got this first chart up here, which this is the way, right, that I usually use. Right. This is how I write it. And but you also may see this chart at the bottom right here. Right, you might see this. And like it says, both ways are okay. Right, because no matter which way that you write it, brothers should still be able to understand, right, what these characters are, right? Because it's not that big of a difference. You see, the only differences that I can really just point out is you have the ka and you have the ka up here, right? Which this ka would be, like I said, both ways are okay, but this way is the original way. All right. So, like I said, but this and this really is not that much of a difference, but like I said, this right here is the original way because if you well, most of you don't have it, but it's a Hebrew packet, right, from One West, right? The old school, right, where the knowledge basically this truth basically came out of in New York, right? And they gave out Hebrew packets to learn the Hebrew, and it was this form was in there, right? The bottom one. So this one is good, but like I said, this one is okay as well. All right. So now we are just going to do a little drawing, all right, which I'm not the best artist, but just bear with me. All right, so now we are going to start with which you should know how to pronounce, all right, and also how to write the letters or that alphabet, right? Which is AH, right? It's not. You can go back and look at the Hebrew chart. So, this is the letter That's how you write it. Simple. When I write it, let's do like a little, what that is, like the little greater. greater than sign or less than sign, whatever you want to call it, right? And just draw that line straight through like that. Right. That's it. It's just when you remember to draw, you remember to just draw the pointed version towards the left and then just draw a line right through it. Just like a sideways A. Right. Then you have the ba. Right. It's like a triangle. Then you come at the right end of this triangle, draw a line down halfway, then hook it or slant it, right? And that will be the ba. Then you got the ga. It's like that, just like it's like a weird seven. Ga, right? Ga. You have da, which is essentially it's a triangle, right? Or you would draw it like a triangle, right? It's basically the same process, right? So you should do like this, then boom. You got your da, right? Or you could kind of like draw it like wide like that, even more wider, right? Which they got it drawn here kind of small, right? And here this is like a perfect triangle. But either way, just draw it either one of those ways and still would be the da. All right, it's not really that hard. Like I said, it's a triangle. Boom. However you want to draw that triangle, just make it look kind of similar to what's on the chart. Boom. Da. All right, then so you erase that. Then you have what? Whoa, that was kind of off, right? And you have the ha, right? Which this character is in the Most High's name. So this is an important character, but all of them are important. But it's the ha, right? The ha. Then you got the wa. Simple, right? It's like basically you drawing a U, put that line up under there, right? Look like forget that last part. Draw a line up under there, like a kind of like a weird field goal, kind of like a field goal. All right, that's the Y. All right, then you have the za, which that's easy. All right, it's like a Z. That's what it sounds like. All right, the za. All right, then you have the ka. It's one line here, one line here, kind of parallel, or doesn't matter. All right, then you just put two lines in between. All right, ha, that character. Ha. All right. And after I draw these, we'll read the chart again, just so you can understand. All right. So ha, then you have ta, like a circle with an X. All right. Let's do that over. Just put like an X, middle of it, and that would be ta. All right. So now we have ya, which when you write ya, just know that this is the smallest character in the Hebrew alphabet. So you don't write it the same size as the others, right? So when you write it, just make sure to kind of like differentiate between the other characters. So you kind of write the za, right? The za, and then a line coming out of it right there in the middle. And that is the ya. Right. Then you have the ka. Like I said, it was two ways to write it, right? It had it to where you had like a little backwards C, you see. Then you can kind of like draw a V in the middle, which Ka. That's a Ka. Basically means like the palm of the hand. Right? But the way that I draw it the other way on the chart, which like I said, it's no big deal. Bam. Right? And it looks like a hand. So draw it one more time, which you can just draw a Y and come in the middle. Bam. The Ka is complete. All right. So then you have La, which it was two ways to write it on the chart. L, well, that was a little bit excessive. All right. It's just an L. All right. For the La. All right. Or you can write it the other way. All right. How I write it, which is the other way on the chart, be like this. All right. That would be the La. All right. And you got the Ma, like a V. Boom. It's like it's almost like writing a W, right? So when you write it, write out the W, finish it, right? And then come back down and hook it underneath, right? That's the easy way to remember how to write it. Write the W out and then hook that down. All right. Now you got the Na, right? Easy way to remember how to write it. Write a V, hook it under it. That's the Na. All right. Then you have the Sa. Should be like that. All right. That's a Sa. Like which means samak, which goes into support. All right, so we'll go over the meaning of the alphabets later, but just learning how to write them for now. All right, because when you go here, you got the sa. They both look similar. All right, but let's take that off. That's the sa. Then you have the I, just a circle. The character I, just draw a circle. It resembles an I. All right. Then you have the character Pa, right? It's kind of like, let's see, you can start like with a slanted line like that and hook it, right? Do it one more time. Start with like a slanted line, then come straight down and hook it. That's the Pa, all right? Then you have the character Taza, which you can draw a straight line, right? Come out again. It's like a little zigzag, right? So straight line. Oh wow. So straight line, out, down, out. Taza. All right. Then you have the qua, which basically you can draw like a little oval shape or whatever. All right. Like that. Straight down. Just a line through. All right. That's it. A little oval shape like that. Straight line down. Qua. All right. Then you have the ra. All right. Which is like a flag. Go up. You see, draw a line. And then draw like a little sideways triangle. That's the ra. All right. Now the Sha is easy because we wrote this letter before growing up. All right, you just write a W. All right, this is W. That's the Sha character. All right. Then you have the Tha, right? Which is also we wrote this as well. It just looks like it's just like writing an X. All right. That's the Tha. Right? It's writing X, which you have another way to write it on there on this chart. It looks like a cross. You can write it that way as well. All right. Slant the line and boom. That's how that would be another way to write it. Like I said, both ways are okay. It's not really anything really that stands out right between both charts, except like I said, between the Ka, or then you had the Tha, the Taza a little bit, and that really was it. The Ba kind of the hook is kind of different, right? The La, right? Even the Ma and the Na, like it looked like they just hooked it, a little bit more, right? Which I said, like I said, both ways are fine, right? Now to end it off, a great tip to learn how to identify the Hebrew characters with their pronunciation is to utilize flashcards. And this is how I learned it, right? So I would write the Hebrew character on one side and write the pronunciation of it on the other side. So I won't peek at the pronunciations, right? Because the pronunciations you should already have that down pat or memorize, you know. But just to learn it, you can peek at the pronunciations. Like let's say you're the side of the flashcard that you're looking at is the Hebrew character that you wrote out, right? Let's say you wrote out the I, right? Let's see. Let's say you wrote out the I on one side, right? And then on the backhand, right, you would you would basically write I on the other side. So after you do that for all of the characters, right? Now you look at the characters that you've written down, try to go through them and pronounce them without peeking at the back. But you can peek at the back until you remember the characters. So you just memorize the characters first, right? You know, or you try to memorize the characters without peeking at the back. And then, peek at the back as many times as you want. And hey, that'll be it. You see, so I hope that I was able to explain these things, you know, um, as edifying as possible and without any confusion. But with that's a lesson. I'm gonna say, hey, shalom.